start. Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday, and that means it's time for MediaPlex Friday Live. I'm Sydney Langlois.
I'm Gracie Lowe's.
I'm Anna Safta.
I'm Pauline Bunyay.
And I'm Zachary Balog.
And you are in for a half hour of news, views, commentary, and maybe a few laughs. But first, the news. Post-secondary institutions are asking to end Ontario's tuition freeze to increase funding for the province's universities and colleges. Today, Elliot St. Aubin got students' reactions.
Colleges across Ontario intend on unfreezing tuition. This will raise the cost for students to go to school. This is what the students had to say.
I think it's problematic because people are already struggling to live, especially people like myself who don't live with their parents. We live in an apartment, we pay rent, pay groceries, pay all of our other bills. School's just an added cost onto that, but we have to go to school to make money. And then they want us to pay more to go to school to make money, but we don't have the extra to pay because we're already struggling to live.
International students already have to pay more than the average person, so some of them are not happy to hear this news.
The international student, we are paying a lot much of money from back of home, and right now we are thinking like if it's going to be raised more like fees for the course and stuff, so it's going to be very trouble situation for us because as far as international students are going through a very tough life.
According to Jill Dunlop, the college and university minister, increasing the affordability of college and university is a part of Ontario's plan to help people get the training they need to get well-paying jobs. For the MediaPlex, I'm Elliot St. Aubin.
Pauline Bunyay has the latest weather forecast for us. Please tell me it's going to be sunny.
Well, as you know, I'm from a part of Colombia where the current temperature is 19, so this cold is new for me. Today will be at 0, but mainly sunny. Tomorrow, Saturday, the 25th, we will reach 3 with a mix of sun and clouds, but Sunday will be 4 with a chance of flurries or rain showers. Wear your warmest coat, as I'm doing right now. Heat your seats, keep yourself warm, and remember it's almost Christmas. That distracts me from the fact that I'm freezing. I'm Pauline Bunyay.
You're listening to MediaPlex Live.
On today's show, Crime Stoppers will join us.
The sports guys are in the house.
The lights are bright in April.
We talk Spitfires.
And Zach has news and reviews.
Stay tuned, we're just getting warmed up.
First up, Constable Sarah Werstein from Crime Stoppers gives us our weekly Crime Stoppers update.
In light of holiday online shopping and home deliveries, we would like to remind our supporters to be on the lookout for porch pirates. A porch pirate is a person who steals newly delivered packages from other people's porches. For porch pirates, stealing packages is a crime of opportunity, and while online ordering is on the rise, so is package theft. If you see suspicious persons in your neighborhood or are aware of the persons responsible for these crimes, please call your local police service, or you can contact Crime Stoppers anonymously by calling us at 519-258-8477, or you can submit a tip online at catchcrooks.com. I'm Police Coordinator Sarah Werstein.
Arr, I'd like to steal your packages.
The Amherstburg holiday lights are open. Reporter Hannah McGraw was there to take in the sights.
Saturday, November 18th marked the beginning of Amherstburg's River Lights Winter Festival. Its opening night started off with a Santa run. Here we saw hundreds of Santas, Mrs. Clauses, Grinches racing in downtown Amherstburg and along the riverfront. Hundreds gathered to listen to the beautiful music of the carolers as they waited the tree lighting ceremony, including speeches, Santa, and the countdown. This evening is the first of many to celebrate the holiday season in the town. The lights are featured in one of the town's 2 main parks, Kings Navy Yard Park along the Detroit River and Toddy Jones Park. Ahead of schedule, the beautiful fireworks celebrate the start of the Winter Lights Festival, illuminating the sky with holiday cheer and hope for a white Christmas. There was plenty of excitement for everyone in the opening night, especially for the children who saw Anna and Elsa appear in a snow globe. The lights have something for everyone, from classic angels, soldiers, reefs, and ornament displays at the Navy Yard Riverfront Park to more childlike lights for children at Toddy Jones Park, just steps away from one another. This year also marks the return of the warming house for the first time in 3 years. Visitors will be able to enjoy free hot chocolate, crafts for kids, and custom gingerbread houses. The lights were up from November 18th to January 8th. This beautiful winter festival is just the beginning. Be sure to see it for yourself this holiday season. For the MediaPlex, I'm Hannah McGraw.
I mean, that all sounds like a great time. Who here is thinking of going?
Definitely me. I go every single year.
You want to go for that free hot chocolate?
I do. It's the first time it's open since COVID happened, and I've been missing it.
Who doesn't want to go for that free hot chocolate? And by the way, did you guys just see that pirate that was here earlier?
Yeah, I know. Who was that?
I don't know. I thought they long went extinct.
In Colombia, we have show lights as well, but I don't know what to expect from these Canadian ones. It's my first Christmas here, and I'm high expectations about it. Do you think that it's worth it?
Yeah, I definitely recommend going to Amherstburg.
I heard they
Amherstburg's a
have
great place.
Yeah, I heard they have a Disney setup, so I'm pretty excited to see that.
I blanked. I don't remember that from last year.
There's a Disney setup
forgetting it.
every single year, guys. It's the best one.
I mean, what's your guys' favorite part about Amherstburg? What do you love about it?
The small town vibe. It gives off great energy, and everybody knows everybody down there. It's great.
I just love like its history. Like there's so much history within that town. It's ridiculous. I mean, I just love it.
I love the waterfront. If you go look at the waterfront during the sunset or the sunrise, it's like gorgeous. I mean, I also have to say something about the hockey because I work for the team.
Yeah.
But there is a fun hockey game every Saturday night and about 7 Sundays this year. So you should always go to that.
Support local, guys. Support local.
That's true. I hear they have good food too.
I haven't been to a lot of their restaurants. They have like a sports pub that I've gone to a few times, and that's pretty good. There's like a pesto sandwich that I like.
There's a lot of like breakfast places down there, which are like kind of like mom and pop owned. So love those.
There used to be a restaurant there called Maria's.
Oh my God, I miss it.
And I miss it like the death of a family member. I remember going there all the time.
I agree with you, Zach. I agree with you. That was probably the best restaurant in the Windsor-Essex County. Like, I miss that restaurant so much.
We should start a petition to bring it back.
I've been saying that.
Full day trip to Amherstburg. Just restaurants and lights.
Honestly, I'm still stuck on the free hot chocolate that Anna was talking about. So.
It's good.
I thought that was a fever dream because they haven't had it for so many years. I didn't think it was real still.
I know. I thought that it just burnt out, I guess. Like they just stopped doing it. I'm glad that they're bringing it back after COVID though.
No, it's fun because I definitely freeze out there because I don't properly get prepared for the lights. But this year, we can all be prepared for the lights and go see them.
I wonder if they're going to have the gingerbread house making station there still or not.
I don't like gingerbread.
Really?
No, it's a no for me.
That's not very festive of you.
I like sugar cookies.
Yeah. I feel like, what's your guys' go-to toppings for gingerbread houses? Because there's a lot of weird ones.
I've never seen one in my life.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a thing in Colombia, you know?
We're going to have to take you to build one.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, St. Clair College opened the doors and did a little showing off at its open house this past weekend, and Zach Belloc was there.
St. Clair College opened their doors at the main campus on Saturday for their fall open house. Many prospective students came by to check out the various programs and sign up for a wide variety of prizes. Jacob Robitaille is a future student who already knows what he wants to do.
Applying for the apprenticeship. I'm going into mold making.
This is also the first year that the School of Media, Art and Design is at the main campus, and Chair Jimmy Parsons couldn't be more thrilled.
With the School of Media, Art and Design here at main campus today, it incorporates and brings together our whole school. We have a split school, so some of our programs are here at the South Campus, the main campus. Some are downtown at the MediaPlex, and the remainder of our programs are at the St. Clair Center for the Arts. So to bring them together today.
Caden Edgehill came out, and despite only being in grade 9, he says it's never too early to start looking to rise above the ordinary.
And look at the stuff younger, I think it's smarter, right? Some kids don't get this opportunity, so I'm just taking the opportunity.
The next St. Clair College open house will occur in the spring of 2024. And if you have any questions on the programs that you saw today, you can always head to the St. Clair College website, www.stclaircollege.ca. For the MediaPlex, I'm Zachary Ballog.
With that, let's go back to the music scene of 1975 with Riley for the latest episode of Behind the Song.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down at the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy.
Today I want to tell you the story of a Canadian classic by Gordon Lightfoot, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. This nearly 6.5-minute long song is considered a folk music classic, but some people might not know that this ballad is based on a very true story. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is based on the sinking of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald in Lake Superior on November 10, 1975. Yesterday was the 47-year anniversary. Inspired by an article called The Cruelest Month, published by Newsweek on November 24th of that same year, Gordon Lightfoot began writing the song to memorialize the tragedy. The Edmund Fitzgerald was an American Great Lakes iron ore freighter, carrying taconite iron ore from Duluth, Minnesota and surrounding area to many ironworks in Detroit and Toledo. At the time, she was the largest ship to sail the Great Lakes and is still the largest ship to have sunk in them. The Edmund Fitzgerald is not unlike many iron ore freighters that still sail the Great Lakes, and these ships can be seen on the Detroit River any given day. Look out for them next time you're down there. Lightfoot was consumed with the desire to make sure that his telling of the story was accurate, to the point that he had severe writer's block. His longtime producer and friend, Lenny Walker, advised him to let go of absolute accuracy and to simply tell a story. As a result, there is some creative license taken with the lyrics and a few inaccuracies.
Concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling?
The lyrics state that the ship was bound for Cleveland. While Cleveland was her eventual destination, the Edmund Fitzgerald was scheduled to stop first on Zug Island, a manufacturing island in the Detroit River that is not far from here and that still exists today.
The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
As the song tells, the Edmund Fitzgerald suddenly met a huge storm in the middle of Lake Superior, also called Gitchigami, meaning Great Sea in Ojibwe. This storm produced hurricane-force winds. The captain of the ship signaled that they were taking on water. The storm raged for hours, causing the ship to develop a list, which is when ships lean too far to one side or the other, creating the potential for it to capsize. The final communication from the Edmund Fitzgerald was that they were, quote, holding their own. They were never heard from again, and no distress signal was sent. The ship sank shortly after 7:10 p.m. on November 10, 1975, somewhere between Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan and Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, along with its crew of 29 men. Their bodies have never been fully recovered. 4 days later, on November 14th, the ship was located at the bottom of Lake Superior by U.S. Navy aircraft.
In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
The song also mentions the Maritime Sailors Cathedral, which Lightfoot had described as musty, and where the bells rang 29 times for the crew members who had perished. The church's real name is the Mariners Church of Detroit. It still exists today, in Detroit on Jefferson Avenue, immediately after you exit the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel. They still hold a memorial service each year on the second Sunday of November to remember all those who lost their lives on the Great Lakes. Members of the church took offense to musty, so Lightfoot now sings Rustic Old Hall in live performances instead.
They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters.
The cause of the sinking has still not been discovered, but there are many theories, some of which are mentioned in the song. It is still one of the most well-known Great Lakes shipwrecks, thanks in part to Gordon Lightfoot's ballad. As more has been discovered, Gordon Lightfoot has altered his lyrics slightly in live performances, but one thing remains the same. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchigumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.
Zach is taking us to the movies in his latest installment of Did You Know?
Silver City opened on December 12th, 1997, right here at the corner of Walker and Provincial. Now, before this was a theater, it was the twin famous for drive-in, which opened in the 1960s and ran until the 1990s. Now, trouble started to brew once it was discovered that they were unable to keep up with the Cineplex cinemas at Devonshire Mall, resulting in this theater taking its last bow. Now, it's really difficult to see what was once a hub for family entertainment and Friday night fun spiral down and become another example of urban decay.
Ooh. What they thought would be a new beginning.
Toast to us.
Is becoming a dead end.
Somebody tried to kill you last night. We have to go to the police.
If he wanted me dead, he could have done it.
And then
some of the first films to be viewed at Silver City was I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream 2,
Hello?
and the Mr. Bean movie, Bean. For the MediaPlex, I'm Zachary Balog.
Genius dwarfs our own meager talent.
St. Clair College dominated men's and women's basketball games against Humber College during last Friday's alumni night. Jesse LaRouche tells us more.
It's alumni night here at the Sportsplex, so you know what that means. A lot of fans and some basketball.
This past Friday, St. Clair packed the house for its annual alumni night. With the crowd so full you'd struggle to find a seat, the men's and women's teams were ready to put on a show. Coming into the game with both teams holding an undefeated record, perfection was on the line. And with the help of a roaring crowd, the Saints got the job done.
It's incredible, man. Like, we bring recruits to these games. They're seeing these fans, these big nights, these alumni nights. Hosting OCs last year was something that a lot of us will never forget. And it's like having an extra guy on the court. It's like having that sixth person out there. It's amazing. These guys feed off the energy, and it helps us be the basketball team we're meant to be.
Through the night, there were a number of players that put on a show, but none more than Andrew Loyick. Out there crossing ankles and taking names, Loyick was also shooting lights out in 6 of 8 from downtown.
I was just playing basketball, you know. It was a close game. We're going to try to score the ball, help my team out, go and try to win.
And that they did, beating Humber 86-81 in a close-fought battle. Their next match will be against Sheridan this Wednesday. For MediaPlex News, I'm Jesse LaRouche.
St. Clair College President Patty France has awarded the national championship rings to celebrate the esports team's victories. Jackson Gallant has more.
Saints Gaming celebrated a banner year in esports last Monday. They walked away with 3 championships at last year's Nationals, as well as first place in the Collegiate iRacing League. To commemorate the occasion, these championship teams were recognized in a ring ceremony by President Patty France.
It was pretty cool. It was actually really surprising, but also really nice to be recognized by our president, Patty France. It's nice to be put in the same category as traditional sports teams at the school too, which I think is something a lot of schools lack.
The Saints were able to secure first place in Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Rocket League, winning 2 out of the 3 in dominating fashion.
It was mainly just like chemistry. We were all friends. We have fun practicing together all the time. So
they will now look ahead to this year's Nationals and look to repeat the success. For the MediaPlex, I'm Jackson Gallant.
I know absolutely nothing about sports, but that's why we have Cam and Jesse here. Take it away, sports guys.
Welcome to the Sports Guys. I'm Cam Segan.
And I'm Jesse LaRouche. This just in, the Lions are frauds and have lost their 7th Thanksgiving game in a row.
Settle down. It was ugly, but it was just one game.
Is it just one game, though? This is the 2nd week in the row they're looking shaky. Not to mention the beat down Baltimore gave them a couple weeks back.
All right, I'll admit it. I think this is a good team, just not a great team. Still need some more pieces and, dare I say, a legit QB. When is ownership going to make a move that pushes us to that next level?
A pass rush might help too. But until then, I think the Lions are going to be a quick exit in the playoffs. Just not quicker than the Cowboys.
Look at them last night, though, 45-10. If only they could do this against good teams. You ever notice Dallas is like the bully in movies that never picks on someone their own size?
I bet they say O'Doyle rules when they score.
I'm too young to get that, but I'll trust it was a good reference, I guess. Also in Thanksgiving football, the final game last night, we saw another dismantling. This time, the 49ers of Seattle.
I won't lie. The 49ers scare me a bit as an Eagles fan. That's the only team in the NFC I can see giving them a run for the money in the playoffs. I know the Lions sure as hell can't.
Okay, now let the Lions be. Instead, let's talk about another huge football game this week. Ohio State will head to Michigan to take on the Wolverines in the Big House.
I got no clue which way this one's going. My gut is telling me Michigan's going to run the ball and control the clock. Plus, Harbaugh probably already did some spying on them earlier this year. So that intel might help.
If they do win, it'll be Michigan's third win in a row against Ohio State, which will be the longest streak for Michigan since 1997.
Also, if they win, they'll take sole possession of first place in the Big Ten for a second year in a row, which hasn't happened since 2004. Nice to see Michigan getting back to those winning ways.
Speaking of winning, Jesse, plan the parade. The Windsor Spitfires won a game last night after having quite the tumultuous week.
Well, you know what they say. When you take out the trash, things tend to stink less. Remember when the Raiders cleaned house earlier and started winning games?
You're not wrong. Coaches resigning, coaches fired, GMs playing the role of coaches because they don't have anybody else. Sometimes when your back is against the wall, you're at your most dangerous.
Unless you're the Cowgirls.
All right, pipe down. The Spits are back in action tonight in Kingston. That's all from the sports guys. I'm Cam Segan.
And I'm Jesse LaRouche. See you next week.
It's time for Production Minute, and speaking of production, Cam is here talking Spitfires.
Well, there's been virtually no production in the win column for the Windsor Spitfires this season. With a record of 4-16-1 on the campaign, head coach Jared Smith has been relieved of his duties. This is the first time a Spitfires coach has been fired since Mo Mantha was fired in 2005 amidst the hazing scandal that rocked the Ontario Hockey League. Every other coach secured a job in the professional ranks immediately after leaving the Spits. Until now. Having allowed 27 goals in their last 3 games, it was clear something had to change. Since GM Bill Bowler already tried to shake up in the room a week earlier with the departures of Anaheim draft pick Roddy Dionisio and 49-goal scorer Alex Christopoulos, the only move left was to dismiss Jared Smith after only 21 games as an OHL head coach. There's no word on who may take over, but this deep into the season, most candidates, the good candidates anyway, are likely already under contract. Expect an interim coach to be named, and then in the offseason, the Spits will surely conduct a thorough coaching search. More importantly, though, if the slide continues, will players start wanting out? At this point, the Spits are at a crossroads. If they're not careful, they could turn into the Niagara Ice Dogs of the Western Conference. One thing is for sure, their upcoming road trip is massively important and could dictate the future of the franchise.
If you're looking for all things entertainment, well, Zach and Riley have you covered. Here's ZNR Entertainment.
Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Riley.
And we'd like to welcome you to our segment, ZNR Entertainment.
Where we'll be talking all the latest in TV, movies, music, celebrities, and more.
So stick around to see what's in store for this week.
I'm here with Shane Trowbridge, who is an up-and-coming writer and director here in Windsor. Thank you so much for being here, Shane.
Thank you so much for having me.
So just tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the industry.
I started as a writer, and I had really no film experience, so I actually ended up just working with Gavin Michael Booth. I ended up working on a few sets of his for some music videos, just to kind of get a gist of how it works on set and how what to do. I was just a PA, nothing special, but I just loved being on set just to kind of understand what it means to be a director. And Gavin really kind of helped me out along the way, and then he also helped produce this film that I did. And yeah, honestly, like that's pretty much how I kind of did it. I just kind of went full force into it, and I just wanted to like, okay, let's just kind of go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So your short film, your first ever short film, High Chase, just premiered at WIF this past month. So what was that like?
It was surreal. It was very surreal. I honestly, like when I first kind of applied to get into WIF, like I didn't necessarily think I was going to get into it, but like I was just like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. And then they got back and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm at a film festival for my first short film. It was very surreal. And then I got there and it was just like, yeah, just very surreal, just being on stage with a lot of like other powerhouse directors in the city, and I'm just like, wow, like you almost get that sense of imposter syndrome, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, oh my God, should I be here right now? But like, you know, like, but it was very heartwarming because I felt like, you know, everybody really resonated with my film, and like it was just an amazing experience, honestly. Like, lost for words at that point. Yeah,
I was there. I saw the film. I thought it was spectacular. There was a lot of people, you know, some non-dry eyes in the room, very emotional. And then hearing you talk about it was great. So just to close out, what advice would you have for students who are wanting to get into this industry?
For me personally, I always just say get on sets. Like whatever you got to do, even if you have to PA or something like that, just always just get on sets and just ask a bunch of questions there. Just like ask how this process works. Why are you setting up those lights there? You know, why are you choosing this camera angle? Just like almost like annoy everybody on set because you're just like so eager to learn, right? Like the best like school is great because you can always like learn so much, but you don't there's so much you can learn just by being on set and just going right into it. So I always say like, just go into it and just do it.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank Shane for being here. I'm Miley Livingston, and this has been DNR Entertainment.
Did you also know that Zach has the weirdest news found on the internet? Here's Zach with weird news.
It's Friday, and that means it's time for the weirdest news found on the internet. That's right, it's time for Weird News. Is this luck or yuck? Kansas City Chiefs player Patrick Mahomes does not wash his underwear during a winning streak. I'm pretty sure if you have any kind of streaks, you should wash your underwear, but that's just me. It all goes back to when Mahomes' wife gave him the pair back in 2017, and once he put them on, the Chiefs finished a 10-6 and won the AFC West for a second straight year. So does he actually not wash them? He said every once in a while, he said, but admitted that they don't get cleaned if it's a hot streak. As long as I'm winning football games, I'll keep the superstition going. As I read this story, I can smell it, unfortunately. Well, it's time for the weirdest stories out of the Great White North, stories that'll make you think, oh, Canada. Out of all the places to be stuck, why not a UPS store? A family of 3 had gone to the store after hours to retrieve mail just after 8:30. However, once the pair entered the Main Street location, the door locked itself behind them, leaving the pair unable to get out. The pair tried to force open the door, but it wouldn't budge. They then called the police for help. They were eventually rescued. I'm guessing the kid there just thought, why can't I be stuck in a toy store? That's the weirdness for this week, and now time for your dad joke of the week. How do you get a squirrel to like you? Act like a nut. I'm Zachary Bellog, and you cannot make this stuff up.
Thank you for tuning in.
You've been listening to the MediaPlex Live.
On today's show, we had contributions from
Elliot St. Aubin,
Hannah McGraw,
Jackson Gallant,
our sports guy Cam Seguin, and Jesse LaRouche,
Riley Livingston,
and Sean Brannigan.
I'm Sydney Langlois.
I'm Grace Silos.
I'm Anna Safta.
And I'm Zachary Bellog.
And I'm Pauline Buñay. See you next week.
That was easy.